Been a little while. Hello. I know I haven't uploaded in like, I'd say a month, but I think it's even been past a month. Missed you guys. I'm back, kind of. We'll see. Taking each day by day. It has been killing me that I haven't been able to do anything. If you're coming in here and you're like, what do you mean you haven't been here for a month? I didn't even notice. I don't know whether to be happy or sad about that. If you're coming in here like, what do you mean? What's wrong with you? Why were you gone for a month? Well, back in September, we got into a car accident on the way back from a shoot. It was bad, but it wasn't like awful. Like everyone was fine immediately. So I didn't think that caused anything per se, but then time went on and I already had a bunch of back problems, but suddenly it was like burning sensations and weird feelings that I'd never had before. Something didn't seem right. So, and I'd gone to the chiropractor, I'd gone to the acupuncturist, which usually would help my muscle spasms. This wasn't helping anymore. So then the chiropractor prescribed an MRI, which let's bring up a key part of the story that I haven't really focused on in the past. The MRI place that I went to, it was a little sketchy. If you don't know, MRIs are super fucking expensive. It was cheaper for me to go to this place and pay out of pocket with literally cash. That is what they wanted. That's a whole nother story. I had to go to 7-Eleven. They didn't give me the cash because then my card got shut down because who the fuck needs $500 from an ATM at 7-Eleven? But I digress. MRIs are MRIs, right? Well, apparently it was a pretty janky MRI place. Also, it should be noted that I did the MRIs laying down. That will come into play later. And then cut to getting the results of the MRIs, which my chiropractor at the time read, and he was like, oh my God, well, no wonder you've been in pain. You have 3 herniated discs in your neck. And I'm like, fix me. And at this point, I haven't been doing anything. Like couldn't work, couldn't go out, I just like laid on the floor and even that hurt, to be honest. He is kind of like, I don't think you need surgery. It doesn't look like it's that bad, but you should probably get a second opinion anyway. Got to me going to a surgeon probably another 2 weeks later, because if you've ever tried to make an appointment with a surgeon, it's basically impossible. They're like, we have an opening 4 months from now. And you're like, cool, well, it fucking hurts now. I ended up literally like crying on the phone with one of them and she called back. She's like, we have an opening next week. You can come in. And I'm like, thank you. At USC, which is like very good. Like that's not, I'm not going to a janky place for the surgeon. That was just the MRI. But he also ordered an x-ray. I don't know how much of my spine he got in the x-ray, but he did an x-ray regardless. So now he has the MRI. I've also gotten an x-ray and then he reviews both. I think the appointment lasted maybe 15 minutes. He essentially told me it's not bad enough for surgery and that he was gonna prescribe conservative care, which is just going to physical therapy, which I'm like, okay, cool, anything that'll help. He's like, and then like in a few months, see how you feel. Cut to me going to physical therapy twice a week for at least a month and a half, I'd say, and followed by going once a week because it started getting so fucking expensive and it was $100 every time I went because I didn't have insurance. Because if you've been paying attention at all to my career situation, Defy went bankrupt. I'd already quit and I was planning on using Cobra, which is the insurance that you can continue that you had at your previous job. You can pay more money so you can keep that same insurance so you don't have to switch doctors or do anything differently. It costs more, but it's like I had too much other stuff going on. I didn't want to have to find a new insurance company. I would use Cobra for a few months and then we'd go from there. Well, what they don't tell you is if your company goes bankrupt, the Cobra doesn't exist anymore. So basically, all the expenses that I paid for 2 months that I thought I was gonna get reimbursed for later as I was signing up for Cobra, I find out I'm never gonna see again because guess what? There's no Defy and I'm screwed. So at this point, I've spent thousands of dollars seeing multiple doctors. They've all said herniated discs in my neck, that's the problem. You don't really know what to tell you. So I just wanna remind you, constant pain. For 4 months. I'm now at the point, and this is like 2 weeks ago, I'm now at the point that I literally can't do anything. So a bunch of you had been recommending this one chiropractor that I had even seen on YouTube before, and his name's Dr. Rahim.
Gotcha. That's it. I got you. Don't worry. That's the worst of it, okay? That's okay. Are you okay? You're strutting now. Walk it up. Feel that?
Nothing.
Right?
Yeah, it's fine.
He specializes in a special kind of chiropractics. Question mark, is that like, anyway, it's called Gonstead chiropractic. So it's like, there's a tool that they use that they run up and down your spine. It's like a nerve reader. I'm not gonna get too into that because I honestly don't really understand. I went to him 2.5 weeks ago now for the first time. He doesn't take insurance. It was all out of pocket. It's very expensive, but like worth it if he'll actually give you a real answer. So reminder, everyone had been telling me that I had these herniated discs in my neck because that's all anyone had been focusing on. Well, Dr. Rahim ordered a full spine x-ray, which is included in the price of your first appointment, which he then goes over with you. Jocelyn came with. We didn't film it. Honestly, I have not been in like the emotional state to be able to film stuff and like kind of a huge mess. Long story short, first appointment's like an hour-and-a-half long and he goes over this x-ray. Well, this is what my x-ray looked like.
Ladies up in here tonight.
And you know my hips don't lie and I'm starting to feel it's right. All the attraction, the tension.
It doesn't take a doctor to realize that that's not just neck issues, that's all coming from my lower back, which he said stemmed from a childhood tailbone injury. Lily, what would you have gotten a tailbone injury when you were little doing? Oh. There was that one time. I used to horseback ride, and when I was around 10, the horse in front of me freaked out, backed into mine, and then mine freaked out, and then I fell onto concrete onto my ass. So something tells me that could have been it. Moral of the story, it is coming from my lower back, so that's why months of physical therapy treating my neck isn't doing anything, because it was my entire spine compensating for what was going on down here. Literally after one appointment, I woke up the next day and was like, oh my God. There's hope. I don't know how to tell you what it's like to find out that I have spent the last 4 months, especially the last month, thinking that I was crazy. Because then I read a book even, which I highly recommend the book, it's really good. My friend Sean recommended it. It's called Healing Back Pain by John E. Sarno, and it's all about how a lot of back pain or different ailments in the body can be manifested from stress and like not dealing with it. So not dealing with your stress forces your brain to like trick your body into putting that stress somewhere else, so it'll find like a weak spot in the body and then make it worse. While that's like a great peace of mind to have, it's a little hard when you still feel like your spine is like being like ground into each other. Come to find from the x-ray, that literally is what was happening. Currently, February 28th, I have gone to Dr. Rahim 5 times. I'm feeling so much better, but still, obviously I have taken a break from uploading because I haven't been able to edit. When you're in pain and that's all you can think about, that's the last thing I can do is focus on making videos. And I don't want to put up a bunch of half-assed videos. I'd rather take a break until I can really focus on them so I can give you guys what I want to give you. Definitely still struggling a lot, and I have to bring like back tools with me a lot of the places I go. But I have done a few fun things the last few weeks. I was gonna film more at them, but I couldn't. 2 weeks ago at my friend Josh's wedding. Josh and I used to live together for like 2 years. Sweetest little angel, and he used to cook me dinner all the time. My mom was worried when we weren't living together anymore because she was like, what are you gonna do? 2 weeks before, he goes, hey, actually some people had to bail and they can't come. We have some open seats. Do you want to bring a +1? I was like, sure. I'm trying to think if I should bring a guy or a girlfriend. And he goes, do you have a guy to bring? And I was like, that's a good point. So I brought my best friend Audrey from high school. We got to stay at the Westlake Inn, which is like literally a hotel that I've driven past, can't even count how many times, but it's like right by my high school. Audrey and I just like doing nothing. So like anytime we weren't at the wedding, we were just like relaxing.
We're having a wild girls' night. Who needs a back massage?
2 days later, went for another staycation because be in pain at home or be in pain at a hotel. Joss and I went to this ranch called Alisal, and it's in Solvang, which is like 2.5 hours north of here.
Well,
Is your map even working?
no network connection, so
This is it.
this is the end. It's like our own version of Blair Witch.
If anyone finds this. Okay, so the camera's about to die, but I wanted just to prove that we made it and we didn't die. Got to hang out at the ranch. Unfortunately, it rained a little bit. One of the things I was looking most forward to is that I was gonna be able to horseback ride, which my chiropractor even cleared. When I went to the chiropractor yesterday, sometimes when they're like doing stuff that's like kind of dramatic and something happens called like toxic release. Essentially I was like super dehydrated, felt kind of like I had the flu, was burping a lot. I couldn't go because I like didn't sleep at all last night because I woke up every single hour. I slept this morning, I'm feeling a little better. Jocelyn said she's almost back. Needless to say, I'm a little jealous. It's looking a little gloomy outside. P.S. That's the view outside my window. I haven't really gotten to explore yet, so I'm excited for her to get back because I don't do anything alone. Like an hour later, I'm ready.
You look like a snack. That's what the kids are saying these days. Did you like how quickly I came up with that? I've been thinking
So
about
quick.
it for a long time.
Yeah. How was your horseback ride?
Oh my, I don't even want to tell you about it because I don't want to make you sad. So we rode for like an hour into this like valley to this adobe house where all of these people were making us like fresh pancakes and biscuits and gravy and eggs and quesadillas and coffee and all this stuff. And then a cowboy performed songs and another cowboy told stories. We got back on our horses and rode back
All
past.
before like 10.
I mean, it was gorgeous. I'm sad you missed it, but we'll come back.
Then we went to New York for like, I feel like what was like my rite of passage in the beauty guru world, which I'm not actually in. We got to go on our first trip in with Tarte. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but literally we've been dreaming about this day. It always looks so fun and I love Tarte. And then we got this invite, flew us out to New York, and I actually got a new camera because my camera is heavy and I couldn't film anything and I was sad about it. So I invested in a little tiny 360 cam. Got here literally like the night before I left and I like played with it a little bit, didn't really know how to use it totally, but then I filmed some in New York. So here's my New York trip.
I found it.
Motherfucking diploma!
So I did get to do a few fun things, and it hasn't all been horrible, but the fun things are a little hard to do when, like, every 20 minutes you're like, oh wait, one sec, my spine popped out of place. I want to say that I'm gonna have videos coming up like twice a week from now on, but honestly, there's some days I wake up and I feel good, and some days I wake up and I feel absolutely terrible. Some days I wake up and I'm like, I'm good, and then I start working on something, and then I'm like, oh my god, I can't sit like this anymore, and then I cry the rest of the day. Very unpredictable at this point, but I'm hoping for the best. And I just want to say thank you guys, and if you're going through chronic pain, first of all, I'm so sorry. And second of all, I highly recommend you look for a second opinion if you think that maybe the ones you were given are wrong. If you can afford to keep asking questions, you might get some different answers that actually give you results like mine, because otherwise I would still be sitting here on the floor, not able to do anything. Like, it blows my mind that people told me for months that one thing was wrong and that wasn't even the problem. By the way, I didn't even mention, Dr. Rahim said that if you take an MRI laying down, that it's very possible that you get a false positive for cervical discs, but you need to do a stand-up one if that's what you're testing for, which neither doctor I went to said that. So the medical field, it seems to be a little bit of like the ultimate conspiracy theory. The money and time that I've spent going one direction when so many people told me one thing was wrong, and then one person was like, no, look, literally. And like anyone with their eyes could look and see that that is actually the issue. So it's not like he's some like witch doctor. No, you actually just looked for the source of the problem and you're not just treating the symptoms, which seems to be like what a lot of doctors do for chronic pain situations. If you are experiencing pain that you feel like no one is really taking seriously, keep looking for someone to take you seriously, because they are out there. Anyway, I think that's it for now. Hopefully I'll have some more videos coming up soon. I have a bunch filmed that I'm very excited about, and I have a bunch that I want to film that I'm super excited about. Thank you for watching. And if you're experiencing any of this, I'm so sorry, and I really hope it gets better for you. I hope it keeps getting better for me too. Cross your fingers. Bye.